A lot of birds migrate. As the seasons change, swallows, swifts, geese, and many others fly thousands of miles to find food and the best environments to nest in. Some birds can go for days without landing. They have to because there is nowhere safe for them to rest. Today, I'm going to make some miniature gardens, and I'm going to imagine that migrating birds might want to stop there on their journey. So I need to think about what they might want. To start, I need something to build my garden in. It could be a plate or a container. I'm going to use this plant tray from the garden. I know I want some bushes or trees for my birds to roost in overnight, so I'm going to use some scrunched up tissue paper. Next, the garden needs a floor. I've got a few options I've taken from the kitchen, and I'm going to use some red lentils. Do make sure to ask before using food from the kitchen. I'm going to pour that into the garden and then start adding more bits and pieces. How about some rocks? And a pond? My feathered guest will need a drink. I'm going to use a little bit of foil and put these clear glass pebbles on top. My bird visitors will need some food, so I'm going to add some flowers to encourage insects in my garden. I've decided I want one of these bushes to become a tree, so I'm using a piece of plasticine for a base. Then I'm using some pieces of wood, in this case it's a coffee stirrer, and I'm using double-sided tape, or you could use glue, to stick the paper on. Then pop it in the plasticine and plant it in the garden. And there you are. You can keep fiddling about with this and make it as detailed as you like. If you prefer a more realistic vibe, you can make your garden from more natural materials. I've found lots of bits in the garden and the park, and I'm going to build another little bird hotel garden in this old cream cheese container. I didn't have much luck finding twigs, so I'm going to use another coffee stirrer for a tree trunk, but I'm covering it with dry leaves. Stick that in there with another lump of plasticine, then finish filling in the ground. I'm using soil and gravel for this one. I'm going to put another pond in, but this time I want it to have real water. So I'm making a little bowl shape out of kitchen foil, and I'm pushing that quite firmly into the ground. Then you can build up the garden around it with more plants and bits and pieces. Keep thinking about what the birds might need when they stop to rest on their long journey. We can't wait to see all the great stuff you're creating. Make sure to share what you're doing on our gallery. Tomorrow we'll be dreaming up our own bird species and making some fantastic carnival lanterns. Get your scrap paper ready. See you then.